My name's Chris Bloom. I started at Vancrest almost 5 years ago now in SDNA. I did this job when I was in high school because it worked well with my schedule then. When you're in high school, we usually work second shift, like 2 to 9 or something like that, and then every other weekend. And I work day shift, 6 to 2. It works well with my schedule, and it's pretty physical to say the least, but it's a good job. You really learn a lot of patience and to deal with people and taking care of them and stuff. But I enjoy it. You come in, you just fill out your application, and then you have to do 2 weeks of classes, and then you have to pass a test later to make you a state tested nursing. But it's not too bad. I mean, you gotta study and stuff to make sure you get through it, and you gotta pass the test with the state. And we come in at 5:45, we do rounds with third shift. We make sure everything's good before they go home, and then they leave and we take over. We come in, we get the people up for breakfast, we give them the showers if they need showers, we take them down to breakfast. We pretty much do all their personal care stuff. We take them to breakfast. If they need help getting fed, we feed them and we bring them back. Some people lay down right after breakfast and take naps. Other people just stay up for the day and do the activities here. Then we have lunch, and the same, it's pretty repetitive. Once you learn the people and their routines, it's pretty repetitive. I mean, you learn how to definitely deal with people's personalities and how one person is to the next person, and sometimes they're a little feisty and sometimes they're not. You have to be pretty strong, I mean, to say the least, because you have to, most people, I mean, if they can't stand, you have to pick them up and you gotta help them and take care of them that way, so you definitely have to be stronger. I mean, you have to be prepared to be doing some heavy lifting. I like the interactions with the residents and my coworkers and just the day-to-day. It's fulfilling, I think. I mean, they can't do a lot of this stuff on their own without us, so they need us. So it's good that way.
Hi, my name is Stacy Fairchild, and I am a social worker at Vancrest Healthcare Center in Delphos, Ohio. I've been doing this for almost 19 years now. I'm also a Blue Jay. I graduated from Delphos St. John's in 1995. And when I was in high school, being a social worker really wasn't on my radar at the time. I actually knew I wanted to work with elderly people. That was always my goal. I used to love coming to the nursing home, visiting residents, just hanging out with them, but I never knew what aspect of it I wanted to do. And then after I got into college, I knew I wanted to do something in the health field. So I went into human services. So I graduated in 1998 with my applied science of human services at Edison State Community College in Piqua, Ohio, and actually got right into the workforce after that. I worked at one nursing home for 10 years. Loved it, but then relocated back to Delphos with my husband and children, and then became the social worker here at Vancrest. I've been here for 9 years, and it is something I truly love. There's lots of wonderful aspects of the job, but there are also a lot of things that you don't know prior to getting into it. As far as a day in my life here at Vancrest, some of the things that I'm in charge of, if somebody calls me and says, I have a referral for you for Vancrest, we want my mom to come to the facility, that is my job. I have to make sure from start to finish that I get that person in our building, or I give them a reason for not taking them, because we do have the right not to. But that is something that keeps us very busy in the social work department, because we have a lot of comings and goings. We have a rehab unit, and that is a 25 bed. And then we also have the nursing home side, which houses over 100 people. So in a day's time, that is something that takes a lot of our time. Other things that I may be in charge of is, it's called a minimum data set. That is an assessment tool that we are required by state to do weekly. So that is something that we have to do every week. And every week our nurses give us a list of who we're responsible for doing. So that makes it easier for us. And there are things we do with the residents, such as assessing their cognition, what their mood is like, what their activities of daily living is. So those are things we actually get from the resident. We do a lot of charting, keeping up with residents, giving them one-on-ones to make sure they're happy with things, because obviously our goal is to make sure they have as much quality as possible while living with us. So those are things throughout the day that come up. And then a lot of things in our department is, if there's a problem, they're gonna call me and I gotta go try to fix that. That doesn't mean I do that on my own. A lot of times I have nurses and other people involved in the decisions, but I'm the one that kind of heads it up and makes sure that things get taken care of. For anybody thinking about this career in social work, things have changed a lot. Like I said earlier, I've been doing this for almost 19 years, and in those 19 years, things have changed immensely. Some of the skills that I really feel that you need to have in order to do this type of job, obviously you got to be very patient, because every day something comes at you and you have to be able to adjust to that person. Whether it be a family member, whether it be the resident, you're going to be involved with so many different people. So you got to have good communication skills. You got to be able to communicate with the families, residents, even people coming in asking questions. And those are things in the beginning when you first start the career. They don't prepare you for that. Those are things you do develop as years go on. The way I responded to people 19 years ago compared to what I do now is completely different. It's all experience. So, as far as being able to be a good planner, you got to be organized, task oriented, making sure you know how to problem solve, because those are all things that are part of it. But I would really say the biggest aspect is the communication piece. You're going to deal with a lot of different personalities, and you got to be able to just kind of let it roll off your shoulders, because if not, it will get the best of you at several days a week, if not. But just being able to be empathetic as well, because you're going to deal with people who've been through very difficult things in their life, and you have to remember you have to treat them all the same, and just go along with whatever situation they're going through and be empathetic with them. Some of the things that I think you need to think about in this type of career is, making sure that it's something, social work can be very time consuming. It can be very stressful. Just making sure that you are in it for the right reason, because when you first think about doing stuff like this, you think, oh, it seems so fun and enjoyable, but you got to look at the long haul picture of it. Some of the things that you may want to look at in thinking about doing a career such as social work would be, go to your nursing homes, go volunteer. You can always come in, visit with people. It's always a good thing. I actually did that when I was growing up. I would just have my mom drop me off, and I would come into rooms and visit people, and it's really not a problem. Our doors are open, they're not locked. A lot of people I actually see get jobs here, whether it be working in the kitchen, being a housekeeper, on the evenings when you're not in school, or sometimes we have nurse aides that come and do the training, and a lot of times if you're still in school, we do have summer classes that we offer. So those would be good ways to kind of get yourself used to the fact of being in a nursing home. Some people have a lot of fear with nursing homes because they don't understand what goes on. But I can assure you, if you're here for a while, you will get used to this and you will learn to love the people. That's one thing about social work that I love the most is the residents. Obviously, I get a lot of dealings with families, but the residents is what I focus on. They're here for a reason, and my goal is to make sure they have as much quality and happiness while they're here. Not to say that always works out, because it doesn't. But I do the best I can to make sure that families and residents are very happy with being here.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jane Boniface. I am a clinical psychologist working here as needed at Vancrest for the nursing home, rehab center, and assisted living if there's anyone that needs any assistance there. Mostly it's about behavioral and mental stability. Quite often people are very depressed or find the move to a facility so different that they have a significant adjustment to make in life. Some people resist that and find then that they are really very unhappy. So we work with making adjustments so that they can enjoy life again and enjoy where they are. To become a psychologist, one needs to first complete a bachelor's degree and have significant credits in psychology. In my experience, I finished the bachelor's and then went on to master's in education. And after completing that, studied for the PhD in psychology and chose clinical psychology as my field as opposed to research or occupational psychology or any of those other fields. One of the things that you need to do is contribute to the world of knowledge, some new knowledge to earn a PhD. And mine was in the field of the psychological effects on women who are diagnosed with HIV. At that time, it was presumed that only men would get AIDS. And it was found that was not true, and so that was my significant research. I began working in private practice, and for a time I was working with a hospital and psychologist doing the same kind of work I really do here, helping people making the adjustment to whatever's happened in their life. Psychology is mostly about helping people live happier lives, and quite often that means we have to change some of our behaviors or our thinking. And it's our job to help people find a way to do that. If someone is really interested in psychology, I would encourage working as a volunteer in many different fields, getting to know people, how people act, how they find that they don't function well or are getting along. Having experience in any other area, store work, church work, gives you insight into what the whole world involves as opposed to just your small area or your small school. And so to spread your wings and just learn more about different people that you aren't familiar with. And then just, first of all, you'd have to be very determined to complete any of those studies in any field. You're going to find you have to really put in a lot of hard work and be really determined to achieve.